I will tell you, you are being monitored right now, Scott. How about that?
Oh no. Oh no. So first off, I don't know if you caught my wife has COVID.
Oh no.
Yeah,
How
so
how
I have been.
how's the symptoms doing? Treating her?
Oh, it's mild. It's like she's got a cold.
Yeah. Well,
Of
that's
course,
what
if
it
you know my,
is. It's a
she hadn't
coronavirus.
had it. I've had it,
Mm-hmm.
but because she has it, I've had to work from home for the last couple days.
Ah.
Actually, yesterday I went into the office and she tested after because I'm unlocking our building. I think I told you that, and
Yeah.
so I'm getting there at 6 o'clock, 6:15, and I'm in there and I'm working away and I get a text and it's my wife and she goes, "I have COVID.
Oh
I
boy.
tested positive." And I go, "Oh, I better leave." And so I called our safety guy and I texted him and said, "Can I call you? My wife has tested positive for COVID." He goes, "Oh yeah, you have to leave." And so I emailed my supervisors and or texted them and said, "I am going to work from home the next couple of days."
Well, since they're
And I can't.
always
Well,
so on you, how is this working out?
oh gosh, it's been horrible. We have an order. I have an order for a large. I will say large.
Uh oh. Scott had an order for a large. Oh, there we go. You blanked out for whatever reason, Scott. You went to black, and now I don't hear you. So things are snafu.
Oh, sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I got a
I can hear
phone.
you now. You got a
Okay, I
phone
got a
call,
phone
didn't you?
call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to mute my phone.
Okay.
So or not mute it, but turn it. Our home. Okay, so my wife and I are the last people on the planet to have a landline, and my landline isn't working. And
You
so
mean
because
to
the
cancel a landline? Yeah.
yeah, we're the last. Yeah, I mean you don't have one anymore, do you?
No, I probably ought to get
We
one.
have one. Well, ours is they turned ours into a voice over IP
Yeah,
phone,
sure,
which
sure. I
I
mean, yeah,
which
go
I
ahead.
hate
Hmm.
because if you lose power, you don't have a phone.
Right, right.
There's a
You just might as well be
battery. Yeah,
using. Yeah, you might as well be using
cell
your
phone.
cell phone.
Cell phone. Yeah. So anyway, there's something wrong with it, and it's not that expensive, but it's like $50 a month, and
Hmm.
I'm like, we're not getting $600 a year value out of that,
No,
So anyway, they were supposed to come out and look at it Saturday, but my wife has COVID. So
right.
anyway, like I was telling you, I had an order for this large college that I get home and I'm not home an hour and I find out there's a problem. We've sent it off to the vendor. It's a big bronze plate that we're doing, and we sent off to the
Hmm.
vendor. And there's a problem, and they have a scheduled unveiling that they've sent out invitations to on like September 1st. And I'm like, son
This
of
is for the tiger, right?
nope, no,
Okay.
unrelated,
Oh, okay.
different college.
All right.
Uh, but it's just like, good grief, And so, and then I had a belt buckle that we did for a guy and for a salesperson, and he wanted it done overseas. We do these every year. It's for a motorcycle rally. I think
Hmm.
he's part of the motorcycle club, and we do it. And I said from jump, this guy is too picky. He will not like an overseas buckle. He's used to the way we do them here. We do them a lot different. There's going to be problems. I
Hmm.
predicted it, and sure enough, I was right. And he's one of these guys. Some salespeople, if there's problems, they're kind of accommodating. No, not this guy, man.
Hmm.
It's like if there's a problem, he'll talk to your boss. He'll talk to your boss's boss. He'll call everyone, from the owner of the company on down. And he sells a bunch of stuff, so everybody's like, we got to keep him happy, which I get. I mean, we do,
Yeah.
but anyway. So all this is going on. Well, I'm trying to manage it all from the house, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, holy cow. And I can't come back until Tuesday, and we leave
That's,
town Wednesday for vacation.
oh boy. See,
Yeah.
that's the
So
deal.
I've been.
You have to be very secure in yourself. I would just be going through all sorts of anxiety about whether or not they'd still be happy with me by the time I went through all this me time or whatever,
Oh, this-
it just,
you mean you talking about being at the house, or you talking
yeah,
about just
being
these
at the
problems?
house, heading for vacation, it just seems like a lot of it would be like,
Oh,
I guess we don't even really need Scott when you look at all the gone downtime
yeah.
or but maybe I
Well,
don't
I
know.
mean, I'm
Like I
working
say,
from.
that's
I'm
just
working from.
insecurity.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, you know what? I've said all along, if they want to fire me, which
Yeah,
they don't, but it's like, if they fire me, so be it.
it's
I'll
just
go.
time.
I
It's time to
would
retire.
gladly.
Yeah.
Well, that's my thing. It's like, first off, I turn 55 next week, so I mean, I'm a ways, but I'm not that far off. I'm
Yeah,
not so
yeah.
far off. I'm gonna, it'll be like, you know what? I'll work at a. But I mean, I don't want that to happen. I mean,
No, no.
I want because I'm on the upswing.
Yeah, sure. You want a job
I'm
that you've hung with
if
for
the
30
com
years and had it pay off a little bit. And yeah.
yeah, but they're not, no and they don't, and here's the thing. They don't look at it like, oh my gosh, Scott's gone and his people had to take care of everything.
Yeah,
They look
yeah.
at it like Scott has got his people where
They can take care of
they
it.
do
Yeah.
right. It makes me look good. They don't expect me to do everything.
Hmm.
I mean, in fact, my boss has told me you need to not draw so much. Don't draw so, at work I
Right.
draw a lot still,
Trying,
but
trying to
it's
be.
because they can't keep up. We
Hmm.
got too much work,
Hmm.
but he's like, you need to do more management stuff.
Right.
And he's right. I mean, I do a lot of that, but it's just, anyway.
So
So my wife,
yeah, go ahead.
oh,
Tell me about the COVID, how it's
so my,
going.
my wife has COVID. She's sniffly, like she's got a cold. I'm trying to stay away from her. She's been wearing a mask around the house all the time,
Sure.
because I don't want to get it.
You don't want, yeah, sure.
But I
No,
honestly, if I was gonna get it, I probably would have got it already. I tested negative yesterday, so.
colds, and I don't know how many times I've beat this drum, but you can always get the same cold again. A cold
Oh
is
yeah.
cold. You can that you never get. And that's why I am unvaxxed. You can't develop vaccines for something that's never had a vaccine. And I was fairly proved right by all the people that are well vaccinated that got it. So what can I say? And colds are something you can always get again. You are not immune. All these people, I don't know. Damn, we're talking about adults that are supposedly smart people talking about, well, now I'm immune. You aren't
No, yeah, you can
immune.
get it. Well, I had it in the fall. No, I'm sorry, I had it in the spring, early spring.
Hmm.
I don't know, February, March, something like that. I came down with the COVID,
Hmm.
and it manifested itself as I would have never thought I had it, Ellis, except I took a test because somebody I knew had COVID, and somebody had been around. I thought, I better take a test. I took a
Uh-huh.
test, and I had it. And I mean, it manifested itself as just like a tickle in my throat,
Hmm.
and a
Well,
little bit of a sniffle.
that's great. Mild
Yeah, I
symptoms.
mean,
That's what you want.
right. And I think part of the reason why I haven't got it is because, I do have the antibodies in me from having it then. But I mean, am I immune? I don't think I am.
No, no, you aren't. I mean, just in case you go through the disappointment of catching it again, you can't be immune to it. It's a coronavirus, and it's not no one has found a vaccine for it. And this one is a particularly nasty, virulent piece of virus that can't be developed, whatever. I can't talk now that I'm drawing. I'm deep into solving stuff. Drawing a cheesy thing. Okay, so we were going to talk about Better Call Saul.
Before we talk about Saul, let me tell you something.
Okay.
I got some preliminary numbers for my comic.
Okay.
For orders. Now, mind you, this is not, the orders haven't been cut off yet, so this number will go up. Okay. And Source Point Press sells a lot of books at conventions, so this should have a pretty long tail on it, as they say. But
who says that? I've never heard it. What does it mean?
It means that it will sell for a while.
Okay.
And when we're done with it, it's going to go into bookstores as a collected edition, because they have a deal with Simon and Schuster. So this is kind of an initial thing, but so far, as of a week or two ago, so Greg was in the office and they looked it up where they were at. And the guy told him, we have 4 copies ordered. And Greg was like, what? And he's like, that can't be right. I know more than 4 people told me they're going to order. More than 4 people told me they were going to order it, or told me they've ordered it. And it was a snafu in the software, a glitch in the matrix or whatever. So what the actual number as of, I think this was maybe like 2 weeks ago, it was 2,500 copies. 25 and some odd.
That's
what?
That's by many factors more than I sold my stupid Bounty Zone Z. Yeah, you betcha. Many factors.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Well,
so that's great.
I didn't say that. And Greg I talked to Greg on the phone earlier this week for about an hour and a half, and he was kind of setting me up. He said if it was less than 1,000, and he said if it's not set me up, but kind of to keep it in perspective, he said if it's less than 1,000, they have to kind of think about, okay, are we going to do the rest of the books?
Mm-hmm.
And he said if it were 10,000, that would be like one of their best sellers. So he was kind of giving me the, and so we're in there. Obviously it's not a runaway success, but he thinks we'll probably end up getting about 3,000 orders. And again, that's just orders. That's not any kind of sales at conventions or that sort of thing. So I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously in my mind, I'm like, well, why can't this be like the best comic that they've ever sold?
Right.
You always hope for the best, right?
Right.
Or at least I do. I don't know if you do, but I do.
Oh yeah. Well,
anyway, so the Better Zone Z, hey.
Oh God.
Well, you didn't have
much. I probably sold grand total, what with just solicitations that I got through the previews thing, couple hundred issues. And that's it. And then I'd sell them at the con. So I moved probably no greater than about 300 copies total all time. And here, I've got.
Oh yeah.
I've got about 9 left of them total. The rest of them went into dumpsters, and I had a 3,000 press run that I have eventually tossed into trash cans, etc. But because I was the guy that was responsible for selling those by hand somehow or other, they were never sold. So, I needed to have been part of something like a Source Point if I expected the Bounty Zone Z to ever take off. And anybody that's curious about the Bounty Zone Z can probably do a search for it and find it on my blog in its complete pretty much form. So it's out there, somebody could.
I think you've got it on your Lulu store. Oh, Here,
Yeah.
right here. It's on my Ellis shelf.
Oh yeah, it can be bought. Sure, on Amazon. Yeah, you betcha. She's about to fall
This is the
over.
Lulu version.
Yeah, that's got all of the Bounty Zone Z in it, and plus a few other little items. Yeah. Boy, it's weird. I'm looking at
Yeah, I've got
the
that.
monitor, and this girl looks like she's falling over.
Yeah.
But when I look at it right in front of my face as I'm drawing it, it's like, hey, that's fine. She's able to stand up. I don't know. I don't know why the difference is there.
So I've got that. I've got this.
Oh yeah.
And I've got
Yeah,
this. What's in here? Oh, this has
it's
a bunch of
identical.
stuff. This is later stuff.
No, I think it's identical. Actually, it's
Well,
almost like a bait and switch almost
is it?
item. Yeah. Oh well, it's a different size, isn't it? Didn't I go with like 6x9 on one and bigger on another? I don't know. Maybe not.
No. I mean, it's a little different, but not by much.
It's got different covers. Is all it is.
That's okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. No.
Anyway,
I'm not trying to rip anybody
I
off.
have a shelf of Ellis books.
Yeah.
No.
I got this from the library.
Anyway, I was.
Check this out. This is from the library.
Oh, the Sandmans.
Which I just got done watching on Netflix, all of it. The 10 that came out. And of course, the big deal is Neil Gaiman talks about stopping all the bad versions of it that people have been trying to make for years, and he's been saying no to them. And there's only 4 of these. I don't have number 1 right now, but that big stack here, plus think of another one being there, that will amount to all 75 issues. So this is a new binding apparently, because it's got Netflix right there in the corner. So cool.
Oh, there you go. I need to holler at my wife.
Okay,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
walk out of the room. You're gonna hear me talk to my wife.
I'll talk about Sandman. Go ahead.
Hey, Michelle. Can you call Mom? She tried to call while I was filming with Ellis.
Call
Ellis.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm back. I just wanted to make sure. Mom left a message. I wanted to make sure. I talked to her like right before
Yeah.
It was my mom that called. Anyway, I just wanted Michelle to call her back just in case it was something.
Sure. Yeah.
Super critical. Like I said, I talked to her while I was eating supper though, so I doubt there's anything too crazy. But you never know.
Probably wants to talk to Michelle about how she feels.
Well, she called my cell phone, so I don't know. But anyway, okay. So do you want to talk about Better Call Saul?
Sure. So, did you like this one? Was it something that you felt like was on as good as the last one?
Yes. I gotta say, okay. How do you say her first name? Rhea.
Reyes.
Kim. What's the actor? Seahorn.
Yeah, something like that.
If she doesn't get some kind of I don't know what they get for television, Emmy nod for acting in this season, she'll be robbed.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, where she's on the.
Oh my gosh, when she's on the bus and she breaks down, that was. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh. I mean, and there was something else too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, there was a scene earlier in that when she was talking to Saul on the phone, and she goes, and he was talking to her, and I forget what he said and what she said, but he said something, and she said, "What?" or "Yes," or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh my gosh, I've gotten that look from my wife before. She nailed that.
Yeah.
That kind of impatient and just beyond pissed off. What do you want? Why are you talking to me? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And between that and that scene where she breaks down on the bus, it's just like, and
another level. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, spoilers for anybody that's.
Yeah. At this point, it's number 12. It's the next to the last. How do you say the word? You just say it. Penultimate. Yep.
Penultimate, which is like
Penultimate.
the one right before the last, I guess.
Right.
I'm gonna be sad when it's. I love Better Call Saul.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I like Gene, and he's not Gene anymore. In my mind, he's Saul.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
He is.
reverted back to Saul.
Hmm. Yeah. They were talking. They were using that sort
But
of thing in a discussion that I watched today, where they were using all three of his names, and they were talking like they were talking about three different people, which I guess is how you need to really approach it. It's like, well, was he just about to be a
well, yeah.
murderer? Was he about to turn into Gene, or who was the murderer with the telephone cord menacing, you know, Carol Burnett? It was he just wanted to intimidate her or not? Would he have gone all the way if she hadn't have said, "I trusted you"? You know, and
I know. Well, that's kind of been the thing with Saul along is like he's greedy, but he's always seemed to not be one of the real bad. In all this, he's not been a bad guy as
yeah, he's been
such.
horrified by how dark some people get, and he doesn't consider his own tendencies to darkness anything but what is owed to him. What he
Yeah,
can,
it's just
his
him.
cons are whatever a con artist justifies to themselves why they deserve it.
Yeah, it's his hustle.
People are too stupid. Yeah, and you got that a lot when he's sitting in the bar, setting all the people up. You could tell he was like,
Yeah,
enjoying the idea of being around the sheep again.
yeah. What's crazy? Well, okay. So I watched Breaking Bad once a long time ago,
Hmm.
and so what did he do specifically that was illegal?
You know what? Because he was the conduit for all of Walter White's money, I guess that just puts him into like there's nobody the government wants to talk to more than the guy that had millions get laundered by Saul. I guess he laundered it. It had to pass
Well, he
into.
advised. No. He had. What I
He's
read
mainly
before,
dealing with cash, of course. But
right? But he was telling him he was telling him what to do. But I don't know that. I don't know. To me, it always seemed like he was.
well,
I don't
he's
know.
also being paid well, very well, to tell him what to do, and demanding that sort of huge payment. He knew he had a criminal enterprise that he could demand lots and lots of money from.
Well,
And
yeah.
so there he is. He's definitely in bed. So yeah, that's why they won't talk to him. Say, hey, do you know anything about $500 million anywhere that might be buried in a blue? Because that's the deal. Walter White died, and as far as I know, there's about $500 million buried out in the desert, according to the storyline of Breaking
Oh,
Bad.
really?
Oh yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
realize that.
They had to leave that. I mean, he got into a lot of it to get his new
Yeah.
identity, but then he finds out that Jesse Pinkman is still alive because the product is he knows that nobody that hadn't been trained by him could be producing that product. So knowing Pinkman's alive, he goes back for payback and to save Pinkman. He is there to that is his little redemption cycle that he goes through, and
Oh,
knowing
yeah.
that there is a little bit of a redemption cycle for these writers, and maybe they might feel that same way towards Saul. I can't think of anybody though he can stick in front of a machine gun to give you the
Yeah.
same sort of catharsis. There is nobody around like that for Saul. And so,
Okay, I think I know. I have a prediction. What do you think's going to happen? I have an idea.
well,
Because
I
you told me
think,
something I didn't know.
well, the guy that used to set him up so well, the vacuum cleaner salesman, Robert Forster, of course, he died in real life.
Yeah,
And so what I'm thinking is there's going to
right.
be a show, a shot where it rings and rings. Jimmy's trying to set, and of course he's turned him down. He changed his mind while he was connected to Robert
Right.
Forster. So I think he's going to ring and ring, and it's going to close in. Finally, the shot will have a wreath with Robert Forster's face on it, probably when he was a young man, and Reflections in a Golden Eye, and or Medium Cool, or one of his movies, or maybe The Black Hole, and or maybe even Jackie Brown. But anyway, it'll be a
I was
young.
going to say Jackie Brown, man.
Yeah, and there we go, and it'll say, "Uh-oh, he's out of reach for Jimmy McGill." So that's one of my big notions that might happen, but that may be too easy. That may be the beginner's notion of how to do a.
Well, does he
twist.
have money to pay him with?
He has a Band-Aid box full of diamonds, which is
that's right.
Yeah, and he's been making a lot of money hand over fist. But this guy Forster, he wants a lot of money when he does this service for you, and it's like, hey, we don't argue about the costs. It's like,
yeah,
you can't afford it.
No.
Quit calling me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I have another theory.
Yeah. What?
I don't know about. Well, okay, so I watched a thing, and the of course at the end is his Suzuki Esteem or whatever it is, Kia Esteem,
Mm-hmm.
right? That car. You saw that, right?
Yes, and but his litany he's going through is the model.
Right, the vacuum cleaners.
Right. That's her code
of
what he wants.
I think I didn't realize there was money in the desert. I bet he goes back out there and gets it. Does he know where it's at?
Oh, he would not have a clue where the money is.
Okay.
Walter White took that to the grave with him. I'm pretty sure there's no way in hell that Walter ever got that much money packed up and took it with him. I don't think. In the comments, if anybody comes on here and hears that, tell me if I'm wrong about that.
Well, I think he's going to get off scot-free.
Oh, you really? Oh, you think that's his arc on this? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how that can possibly be.
Well, they don't have to show Robert Forster. He has to make the call. I think that's where we'll end up with him making the call.
Oh, and the guy's saying,
but the question is, will Kim be with him?
Yeah, I don't know. That's all happy ending stuff there.
Well,
but, I don't think Kim could ever. Okay.
You don't know if Kim could ever what?
I think she's well done with him.
Oh, no. That's why she broke down on the bus, man.
Oh, you think that's the reason?
Oh, absolutely.
I think the reason is that she just realized there is no going forward or back at this point on her life. It's like, I don't think she was thinking about Jimmy too much. I think she was thinking about herself. It's like, and the people she's hurt, and especially the guy that had his brains blown out, who didn't really deserve to have his brains blown out.
Yeah, he kind of did. He was a dick.
Well, he's a dick, but that's just from our viewpoint. We consider arrogance worth death in movies.
Yes. I'm kidding. He did not deserve that. In
Yeah.
fact, if you saw that one episode where he was we saw a glimpse of his home life, he was kind of miserable at home, and his wife made him miserable, and he lived in the guest house, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
were definitely on the outs, which is interesting that
Yeah, because
the depth
she's
of her,
so upset. Yeah.
yeah, and
Well,
it feels like a
he was
true,
her meal ticket. He's her
yeah,
meal
well,
ticket.
man, you're interpreting everything different. I think she just legitimately uh, was devastated by the loss of him.
No.
Oh,
No, she never seemed
you
upset.
think you think she's colder than that, huh?
If you went to my wife and you laid out a paper saying you have engineered the circumstances that led to my death, she would jump across that table and strangle you.
Yep. Well, of course,
I'm just saying.
they do show her emotion as being pretty intense while she's talking
Yeah, yeah,
to
but she wasn't. She was not half as upset as Kim was on the bus.
no. And Kim's upset on the bus is probably the hardest thing you can do, is to go that deep while it's building in you. And God, I can't think of anything harder for an actor to pull off than to just sit there with a camera on you and go somewhere where you just got to do the hardest thing, which is tap into, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
That's,
most people I would think have that in them somewhere. Some event that they could call up that made them that upset.
I don't think so, because I've watched enough red letter media to know that there's an awful lot of bad
Bad
acting out
actors.
there that some
Well,
people can't
okay.
can't act like. No,
Well, that's
I
true.
couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. You've got to hold it. I mean, that's the deal.
Well, yeah.
If you're out, it shows immediately. It shows in the eyes. It shows everywhere when you have left the moment, the intensity of what you're allegedly feeling.
Well,
She had to be there. She had to stay there for that whole thing. Which is apparently, I think that's how my old job. Heck, what the hell was it called? Budget? I forget now what it was
oh
called.
yeah.
But anyway,
Oh, Avis,
yeah,
you're Avis.
Avis, yeah, and yeah, I think now anymore it's all buses that take you to the lot where your car is at. And I think all the big airports always used to be like that, but they had to convert to that, and of course used to be we were driven around in vans, and we transported the cars, and they'd pick you up, and
Oh yeah.
so that was
Yeah.
kind of
Florida wasn't like that. Of course, we were in Pensacola. Florida, we got our rental car right there at the airport, man. Walked out into the thing.
wow, cool on the tarmac.
Well, yeah, we walked right off the plane into our car.
Yeah,
It was in the parking lot, like with well, isn't it like that in Oklahoma City where they're kind of there at the front, or do they not do that
well,
anymore?
yeah, that's how we used to do it. They'd tell them at the office that we had parked them in the parking garage for them at X place. They got numbers on it, and I imagine
Yep.
they probably still do something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
All I'm talking about that changed is basically how the drivers are how they do their thing, which. But whoa, no, it would be different. That's what that bus is all about. The bus brings the driver to a new point, adjacent to the airport, because that parking
Gotcha.
garage just got too small. They needed
Oh,
that for
okay.
people that needed to pay for parking. Yeah, I think
I
that's
never rent a car in Oklahoma City, so.
me neither.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I did one time a long time ago when I came back and
Well,
visited
I
the
have.
folks.
Gotcha. Okay, so
Well,
anything else about Better Call Saul?
Well, what else is there to say about it? It was like had her amazing performance, and and it's kind of cool because this is the first time we've seen what is her life like uh,
Yeah.
since down there in Florida, and of course it's like, wait a moment, this how can she even live like this? This isn't. How can she let herself be? Dumbed down from our perspective. She's the one that's always smart as a whip, and she's just like turned into a big cipher from the from
She's
the
punishing herself.
yeah, she's punished herself. She's turned it off. I guess she had to turn off a
Right.
lot of things to cope with
Well,
what she feels
a
like. Yeah,
commentary I was listening to said she's so I don't know what you call it, not cowed, but she's so beat down by whatever that she can't even decide if Miracle Whip is a reasonable, for mayonnaise. It's like
yeah,
I don't know what I don't know. Uh,
yeah. And of course, Jimmy's escape from his situation. Again,
yeah,
that arrogance. He had that guy, the cancer guy, on the floor, and his level of after all, the reason he's there is because he has zero empathy, even compared to the other guys that are working with him, for the guy's cancer situation. And he's going to use his beloved dog's ashes to knock him out. I mean,
yeah,
uh,
that's hardcore, man.
Gene is in a dark place in terms of like, and of course, this all comes after his thing with Kim, where he is feeling pretty dark and pretty angry, or
That's a good point. I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
it's like he is.
Why is he doing all this? That's what I don't get. Does he need the money? Is he I
No,
mean, I know that guy recognizes him supposedly, but why would he ever? I mean, I guess the idea is he's going to get that guy on the hook for him,
right? No, he's
but
got him
he's I
thoroughly blackmailed. He has to understand that there is no blackmailing of him that doesn't go right back and stick like glue to him. I can put you in jail, you can put me in jail. Big deal. Uh, One time they showed a shot though. I don't know what show this one was from, but he walks by a poster of himself and he pulls it off after a long shot of the poster and what it's offering for information about him and called the DEA. That's who
oh
wants to
really?
talk to him. Yeah, and the thing is
See,
for like a $500,000. And that
oh my
cabbie,
gosh.
the idea that cabbie, if he knew anything about $500,000, would do anything other than just
Oh
turn him
yeah, he
in. So
oh
I
my
think that's
gosh,
almost
yeah.
like a hole in the hole in the story. It's like no way.
Well, I heard about that in one of the commentaries. They were talking about him pulling down the poster, but I missed it somehow. And I've been watching them kind of weird. Some of them I've watched the because of the way it comes on. I've watched the end of it before I've seen the beginning, if that makes any sense. But I thought I'd seen everything.
Sure, AMC and all that. Yeah. Well, yeah, but this looked like it was some old might have
Like
even
older.
might have even dated to Black Breaking Bad. Who knows? I don't know. It looked like older Jimmy. I mean, of course, the crow's feet and hell, the heart attack. Our hero has aged
Yeah.
Mike has aged.
Oh yeah.
And of
But
course,
they
they
they've
make mention of all the people that are dead at one point, and it's like Mike is included in the list. Lalo, Walter White, all of them are dead. He doesn't have to worry about. But if money
yeah,
on the levels that we're talking about, the government's always coming after you. That's always going to be an open book. On if we can get this guy, we want to talk to him.
yep. Well,
as we face
yeah,
80 something thousand IRS agents about to be given hardcore
yeah, about to be unleashed.
training on being armed and ready to do their duty.
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
that's
Nothing
what
to
we
see
need.
here. Move along.
Yeah,
Yeah, move along.
we need
Oh,
80,000.
they're only for millionaires, billionaires. They're only for the billionaires, Ellis. They would never come. They need 80 because there are 80,000 billionaires in this country.
Yeah, I saw little memes as showing who who the IRS will be auditing, and it is anyone who can't afford a lawyer. So that's
Yeah.
there's the pool, the gene pool you want to pick from because it's the big one.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
And
We'll see.
the whole country is
They were poised here before.
oh yeah. Well, the deal is, see, I mean, this the money that we're talking about that has caused all the inflation. Billion is 1,000 difference on a than that used to be how we measured our expenditures. Has been billions, and we got 1,000 billions that go into a trillion. Well, they just printed $20 trillion. Have authorized that printing of 20 trillion. That means basically we've let the whole entire government up, down, across the scale, everyone they could ever, every agency they could ever create, they've got the money now for it. And it includes all of the stuff that you wish the EPA would just run out of money, but they never will now. And it's just so,
Yeah.
so, you know, disheartening to realize just how much money they have got now. They'll never have to make a budget again. The money's just sitting there that
Yeah. Oh.
it's just
Yeah.
imaginary you'd ever have to request any money because you've got it now. You've got $20 trillion. There's no way you go
Yep.
through that in any big hurry. So,
No, that's a lot of money.
yeah.
Yeah, but you watch. They will go through it.
Well, only if somebody says, what, it will take this or that to turn the spigots on again for, personal this or that they would like to.
Well, yeah.
And then it might happen. But right now, they're very happy with themselves. And they
Oh,
want it.
yeah.
And, the only thing that could get in the way of it, see, Trump can only do so much. He's not really, all the victories have
Yeah.
kind of been won. And the only victory that remains that they can't see happen is a guy like Trump gets in and as they've got this huge amount of money. And that's a big part of the passion for the Trump hatred. And I do believe that they are just a patsy away from assassinating the guy if they feel like they just can't take him out any other way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
And it's just that important to them. And he would become a guy that would, like, all of a sudden be saying, no, we're not going to spend it on that. And they don't want to hear that. They've got the money. They want it to flow. And
Yeah.
and Trump endangers that flow.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they've got,
absolutely.
and it's the only reason. And they might very well kill him. We're getting them way political, but I mean, of course, it's a very political moment in time that has occurred. What with the FBI being sicked on Trump, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
that is just so grotesque that it just hardly can be believed because it was just
Well, here's the thing, dude. Part
right.
of it is Trump's fault because when he got into office, he should have cleaned house on some of these agencies, and he didn't do it. He
Well,
left some of these people in. He should have cleaned house on some of these people, and he wouldn't have near the problems he had when he was in office.
He
You know,
was, well, yeah. Well,
he was trying to get along when he first came in.
well, he thought he could. He thought that a guy that's won, there's never been anything like happened to a guy like Trump has ever happened. He won.
Yeah.
He ought to get the respect of the office, and instead, they went to work from day one on undermining what I've heard is the mole that caused the justified justified search, or the whatever they turn into the judge.
The warrant, or the application for the warrant, basically.
Yeah,
is
the
what you're
application
saying.
for the warrant, and the justification for it came, and this is just yet another thing that has been ruined. It came from the Secret Service. Out of the Secret Service, there's nobody that should be working more for the president than someone assigned the detail of keeping that president safe. And instead, we had someone that says, you know what Trump needs here is another Eric Cimarillo. And I'm going to look around, and I've been asked, someone's asked me to look around and see if we can find some weird justification for moving in and browsing around in his belongings. And let's go do it.
Yep.
I mean, I'll find it. It's easy. I move freely around here.
Yeah, they trust me.
In fact, yeah, they trust me. And let's go. But of course, you really can't go back from that. I mean, it's just another thing that this foul era has revealed, that you just can't go back. Basically, from Obama, you can't hire somebody like that who puts the people he puts into place and expect things to survive in a manner. Obama transmogrified things just exactly the way you would want to if you were a 60s radical. He was a complete success. He's probably been the most successful president of all time, from the vantage point.
Still pulling the strings.
Oh yeah, he probably is. And when I say he is pulling the strings, it's Valerie Jarrett is still the right-hand person, the Iranian that has always been his brain. And so she's telling him what needs to happen. Oh well, yeah, that's all pretty dark. I got to tell you, I watched Garrett today. Oh my God, Merrick Garland. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that's his name.
When he talked, I heard it on the radio.
Oof! I watched it live as it occurred. God, he made me so angry. I mean, just the idea that, and of course, I won't be talking about any of it. It's all ongoing. In other words, I don't have to justify any of this. And it's like, oh my God, you have just broken everything. And you don't imagine you have to sit up there and at least answer a couple of questions. And away he went. Turned his back, and there he was gone.
Well, they have set and the problem is, whatever Republican gets in next will go, I've got to be better than that. That was terrible.
Yeah. No. You really.
That's what infuriates me.
Yeah.
It's like no Republican would ever come back, or none that would come back with, well, okay, now that I'm in, we're gonna subpoena all your financial records.
Well, the deal is they're also deeply insulated by the fact that they are the lawyer class, and there is no comparable
And the media covers for them.
Oh yeah, and there's no comparable ability to project force the way they do. We don't have it. Yeah, they literally
Yeah.
have an Andrew Weissman, who part of that $20 trillion is in terms of who it underwrites. It's guys like Andrew Weissman. He gets his money when he's working for Mueller. That money is coming from the government that is
Yeah.
undermining the presidency. It's just insane,
Yep. Yep. You know, I'm glad I'm not 20 years younger.
Yeah. Well, and of course, and a lot of it is a literal poke in the eye. It seems to be trying to stir things. It seems to be like, okay, you don't like this when I do this, do you? Huh? How about this? How about this?
Yeah, you're right. It is like
Yeah,
that.
it's like, okay, they somewhere
Like
or
the
another
car
they've
ride
got one more
with your
thing they
older
want to,
brother.
one big thing they want to do, where they want to goose step into some situation beyond kind of like a Ruby Ridge situation. They want a big something to happen, and I'm not sure what it is. It'd be nice to know, because
Yeah.
it's considering how big and ugly they've gone in the past. It's like, whew.
Oh, yeah.
Well, part of it is, of course, that a lot may involve starvation. It's like,
Oh.
okay, it's like, uh, gunning from the barricades at people that are hungry. I don't, might happen.
Yeah. I
Or
mean, you'd think
for that matter, we were talking about,
could happen.
Yeah. Well, I went
Could
big
happen.
today in terms of like trying to do a sketch worthwhile. Just call it sketch, since I'm
Oh,
running out of.
let me look at the.
Okay, I guess I can share it here.
I'll have to. Yeah, share it.
Okay.
I've been working on this
Once I-
page. So when I was talking to the writer, we were talking about what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
told him that I would like to do something that I felt like, because the thing is we don't know if our numbers are going to justify a sequel, because we don't know the ultimate numbers. And so, oh, that's cool, Ellis. I like that.
Yeah, doodled it up. Started with her.
That's nice. Is that digital or is that on?
No, it's brush pen and wash.
Oh, that's nice. I like it. How big is it?
Oh, it's 8.5 by 11.
Gotcha.
That size.
Oh, that reminds me, I'm not going to be able to record next week. I'm going to be in New Orleans on
Oh,
Thursday.
cool. Going back to your beloved New Orleans.
Yep, Michelle's got a work trip there, and I'm going to go, and I get to go with her.
Excellent. So it's kind of a.
Yeah, should be pretty fun. It's going to be hotter than blazes there, but it should still be fun.
What do you
Oh,
think?
but anyway,
How many degrees of mugginess greater is it in New Orleans than it is here? We're muggy
I
anyway.
don't know. I don't think it's going to be as hot temperature wise, but it'll be muggier because it's in the swamp basically.
Oh yeah. Below sea level.
It may be a wash. Right. My plan. Michelle's going to be in meetings all day. Wednesday we get there. I don't know what's going on Wednesday. Wednesday we get there. Thursday and Friday she's going to be in meetings. My plan is to find a place, and there's several malls. There's multiple malls there. There's like 3 malls right there by the French Quarter where we're staying. I'm gonna find a place to sit and draw and drink coffee. So
excellent. Now, how long has it been since you've been there last?
We were there a year ago. So
just a year ago. So you were within the. And
right.
You met that guy that was a photographer. It turned out to be quite the.
Curtis Knapp.
Curtis Knapp, who was a photographer to a lot of huge personalities. Who was his biggest guy?
Oh
Well, he
yeah,
was like a Warhol. He was a guy that knew
yeah.
Warhol, I think.
He photographed Warhol. Yeah, he was part of that era.
Yeah.
And then he went to Japan for several years, he said, and then he ended up retiring and and lived in New Orleans. He didn't like New York anymore, so he moved out and moved to New
Yeah.
Orleans.
Well, that's what I wonder. I
Yeah,
wonder
man.
about New Orleans as a place that a guy can walk around anymore. So many cities have gone bonkers. I wonder what New Orleans is like.
Well, it isn't super safe, but it's not super unsafe either.
Okay.
You know, you got to kind of watch yourself no matter where you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
I was going to tell you about the Sandman. Naturally, I assume Netflix
oh yeah,
stuff eventually gets spread around elsewhere to where you could buy it. I guess Barry probably streamed it via his Apple TV stuff he always buys, right? Because he doesn't have Netflix.
I don't know.
But he got it somehow.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, but he watched it. I mean, he was up the last time on emails. He said he'd seen 6, and I'm sure he's seen them all by now. And it's good. What I was struck by is the progression of the character, because he starts out as this. Everybody knows the comics, I guess, and he starts out being captive.
I don't.
Oh, you don't? Well, he starts out being a captive.
I've never read the comic.
I never have either. So yeah, what can I tell you? I'm in the same boat. But anyway, he starts out weak, and then by the end of it, it's like when he shows up, and you go, "Uh-oh, somebody's in trouble." He goes from weak to being something that is just this real
menacing,
fun, menace. When he shows up, I won't go into anything that might ruin it for anybody. It's just good. Take my word for it. It's really good. I am struck by the idea, and I tell you what, Gaiman fairly often, as a matter of fact, it's a trope for this series that he talks about other creatives, people that want to write and do this or that. So this is almost like a love letter saying, this thing came out a long time ago. Thank you all for making it a success. And if you got something like it in mind yourself, I hope you do well. It's basically the kind of underpinnings of a lot of it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. But, and of course, Gaiman was extremely cool on Dreams with Sharp Teeth when he's talking to Harlan Ellison and stuff. I really dug his interactions with Ellison, because they're both, coming from the same point of like, wouldn't it be nice if we had worked in an industry where they took the writer seriously? Because I guess it's just an automatic, you get the X amount of disrespect from the film industry if you're just the writer. It's like couldn't be done without you, but it's like, who cares? So what? It can't be done without you.
Well, what's funny about that? What's funny about that is, I feel like that's probably most creative type jobs, because the big hubbub lately has been people that work in visual effects have been complaining about how terrible they have it on the Marvel movies. And now Marvel just steamrolls them. And here you would think, you watch the movie and you see all these names, and you think, oh man, these guys and girls are doing like this great stuff, and they get, and
they love it. Is the point?
No, the world is their oyster, and then it's like, no, it's terrible. We're not getting paid very well. We're overworked. It's just and I mean, I've just decided that creatives just don't get paid. They're not paid. Sometimes they do get paid, especially if they own the property, but it's just not it's never a respected, thing.
Yeah, I guess Shane Black made a whole lot of money, which is funny because I just watched Nice Guys last night on Netflix. Oh my gosh, I love that movie. It's got the funniest dialogue. He's great at writing funny dialogue anyway, but I think he reached his peak with Nice Guys. Some guy that you think of as being a little bit of a curmudgeon about this and that. Russell Crowe, he
Oh
really
yeah.
wanted there to be a sequel for it. He wanted to continue with the character. He really liked the character, and it
Oh
is a
yeah.
very very fun show. Have you ever seen it? Nice Guys.
No, I've never seen it. Nice Guys. I'll add it. I got my list here of stuff you tell
It's
me.
got the guy. What's his name? The other guy. Oh, he's in everything. What am I talking about? He's the most into men male face type.
Tom Cruise. No, not Tom Cruise.
Well, after him. How about Ryan Gosling?
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's highly in demand. Seems like to me, it seems like he's in everything. He was in a movie
Seems to
with
be in quite a bit of stuff.
yeah, and this sort of thing where he's teamed up and he's funny and all that. Well, we've been at it an hour. Like I say, we I can't wait till we're talking about emailing each other about. Of course, we'll probably have to just address them to each other because we don't want to run it for Barry.
Oh yeah, well that's why I started that off with like who's
Who
seen it,
hasn't?
because I didn't. Last thing I want to do is spoil it for anybody.
Oh yeah, no, everybody's got to go on the same trip that we were privileged to go. See, I watch these things. I guess right at midnight Eastern time is when on Monday. That's when they can be rented on Amazon.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay.
And that's
So you're
right
watching
when I'm
them
watching
early.
them. Yeah.
Well,
As
I'm gonna
early as I
watch.
can.
I'm gonna watch next week on AMC Live.
Oh,
I'm gonna
cool.
watch it as it comes out.
Oh, that's groovy. Well, I guess it's going to
Yeah.
be about 70 minutes long and cool. You can't make it long enough for our last.
No, I think So let's make a prediction before we go, because I think we're
Okay.
winding down. Let's make a prediction.
Okay.
And anybody wants to play along can predict in the comments. I don't know if anybody's watching, but
No, nobody's watching.
so what do you? Nobody's watching. Okay. But
So
they
my
can't after the
my
fact.
theory was wrong. I thought having it scheduled for a long time would have people waiting for it. And, no,
Oh,
it didn't
it's
work.
spontaneous.
Yeah.
It's
So
spontaneous.
yeah. Okay. Well,
So
prediction
what's your
was
theory? What do you think? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll tell you if I
think
agree with yours
Jimmy,
for one thing.
Jimmy is going back to Albuquerque for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
He has to. I don't know why. I don't know if he's got something he's going to get, but it's going to end up in Albuquerque because they wouldn't show the rusty car otherwise.
Yeah.
So somehow, some way, some reason, he's going back.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna go back. I think he's gonna call the cleaner guy and get squeaky clean again. And I think he's going to. I think Kim is going to seek him out. I think he's going to get back together with Kim somehow. I don't think she's happy. He wasn't happy as Gene. She's not happy working at Gulf Coast Sprinklers or whatever it's called.
Yeah, right.
I mean, she's there, and I think there's a lot of parallels in their situation, because if you think about it, what he's doing, managing a Cinnabon, not the most glamorous job in the world, but certainly like a solid job. He may even make decent money. But he's alone. He's haunted by his past. Obviously, she's alone. I mean, she has that boyfriend, but he doesn't live there. She's kind of going through the motions, but she doesn't appear to have a real relationship with the guy. She might, but it doesn't seem to be.
Nah.
And I think that they will. I think that the breakdown on the bus was her realizing that she has not gotten over Jimmy, and her confession was cathartic. I think for her, it allowed her to release that, and she released all that resentment that about the situation. And I think part of it was him having her go over with the gun to shoot Frang, him
Mm-hmm.
sending her. And I think, confession is good for the soul. She's confessed. I don't think she's going to get in any trouble. I mean, there's no evidence. There's nothing, I
Mm-hmm.
think she'll disappear because, like that lady says, I could see. It's interesting that, and that's her thing. The Howard's widow, her main thing was, I could sue you in court. I could take everything you have. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, okay. I mean, I wouldn't think that in that situation that would be the first reaction that people would have.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe down the way, but not initially. Like I said, she doesn't care. She was there. She was happy with Howard paying the bills and living in the guest house. Anyway, that's
Mm-hmm.
my prediction. I don't know if it'll be happily ever after together, but I think we'll see both of them in, and I do think they'll probably get together. I don't know how, because they don't really have a way to contact each other, but
Well,
but
it's hard to say, but I think he dies, and
okay,
even though he's trying to go through the motions apparently of contacting the guy again, I don't think that works for him, and it does seem like a little bit of a cheat if he's not making a phone call from the middle of the desert around that Rusty Hulk. Because after all, I mean, it's like,
but they've
hey,
done that before. They've
but
done that
yeah, if
before with the
they've done that
previews.
before, if they've done that before with the previews, then that's what I imagine is going on. Is that I imagine that phone call goes on before he even heads back, and I'm with you there. He probably is going to go back. I mean, undoubtedly, I guess, unless it wouldn't be a flashback because it's really pitted out and it's obviously
Right.
well along turning into dust.
And it's missing the plates.
Yeah, yeah. And
Mike took the plates off of it.
mhm. So, but the deal is, if he's dead, who killed him? I'm trying to think of a candidate for someone that might come along and want him dead.
That's the
That
thing, is there's
that's
not really,
still there's no deep hatred of him left in
and
Arizona
I don't think
that I
they'd
can
have the
think of.
cops kill him.
Yeah, doesn't seem right. That Jimmy could be so uncool that he would suicide by cop. But I
No,
do think he dies for whatever reasons. I just have a feeling that it will be that's the trip
die
that
of a broken
they
heart.
yeah. No, yeah, Jimmy would never kill himself, of
No,
course. And so,
he could
yeah,
die accidentally.
it's not occurring to me how it's going to play out. I got to admit, and that's what's going to make it fun because I think he will
Right.
die, and I'm looking for how the writers, who I'm pretty crazy about because they gave me a couple of good shows, so
Yeah.
we'll see how they
Do you
do it.
think do you think Kim is in the episode, or have we seen the last of Kim?
Will they meet up again?
Well, or will we see Kim? Period.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Apparently, they are showing shots of her. It's pretty obvious she is in this episode,
Oh,
and
okay.
they're black and white again. So it is that device of
Yeah, just
that
the
era.
present or whatever,
Yeah,
2010 or
whatever it
whatever year.
represents. Yeah,
Supposedly, Walter White's in this episode. They were saying he's
yeah.
slated to appear in one more episode, but
That's obviously a
so
flashback.
obviously there's some kind of flashback. It's a
Yeah,
flashback where he tells Jimmy where the money is. That's what the flashback is. That's how Jimmy gets the money.
well, who knows? That might be it. Yeah, that's the only other people that could possibly threaten to kill him when he realizes he's come back for yet again another taste of the dark side. Needed to contact somebody that set a trip alarm that let him run afoul of the worst of that cartel. And
Well, yeah.
all of
I
a
mean,
sudden, he's in their lap again. And, you know,
yeah. If the cartel
that
knew
that
where
could
the
happen.
money was, they would have got it though. But
Yeah, but that's the deal. If you're saying that you think you know where that big blue barrel is at, or that he knows where it's at, well, that could be a point.
I think
Maybe
that
he's got a GPS that somebody gave him for
I
where
think
that
I
barrel's
think
at, because that's the only way Walter was ever going to find it again. He had GPS data, I think, if I remember
the
right.
the I think it ends with him on a plane going to Costa Rica or somewhere with a
Uh-huh.
big pile of cash.
I, that would cause more anger than anything. You can't have a happy ending. You can't tie a bow around
Oh,
these
you don't
dark
think the
people.
fan?
Uh, no,
Well,
they're
there is something to say because he's never redeemed himself. I mean, he's never
no,
atoned for his actions.
no. He hasn't had a redemption arc even get started on him. Really, he's always gone down a road that just automatically meant the worst thing was going to happen. He just couldn't resist it.
Mostly to the people around him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's the prediction. My prediction's
Okay.
maybe not a happy ending, but I think he's alive at the end.
My prediction is dead. It's no question. And the question remains, what song will they pick to play him out again if they do it like Breaking Bad? It was Baby Blue by, what was the name of that Paul McCartney group? Powderfinger or
Wing,
something like that?
Wings? No.
No. I'll type in Baby Blue real quick so we'll know the answer to that. Baby Blue song. That would be My Baby Blue, Badfinger.
Oh, Badfinger. Oh, Pink Finger.
Yeah. Look up the final scene and yeah, go ahead and just give yourself the ultimate spoiler and look up since you haven't seen Breaking Bad, right?
Well, I've seen it all once.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
mean,
you've seen.
I've forgotten more of it than I remember
I've
by a
forgotten
long shot.
more than I remember too. Yeah, me too. Okay, you ready to
Anyway,
quit?
yep, let's call it. And I won't be able to record next week, so the week after we can one
That's
of us
right.
can gloat and one of us can commiserate.
That's right. Yeah, well, we can do it by
Unless it
email.
ends
We
in
can
a
do it by
black
email.
screen.
Yeah.
They should end in a black screen.
Yeah. It's
That
hard.
would
Yeah,
just like The
like
Sopranos.
I haven't looked forward to anything so much since David Jansen was going to catch the one-armed man. It's that big. Okay,
Okay.
we'll end now.